Breaking up. Jae-Gook, Yoo-jun, and Hae-yuk are having dinner and sharing stories of how much Soo-won cared for his little brother. Yoo-jun tries to bait Jae-Gook into telling Hae-yuk about Yeong-Eun, but he keeps his lips sealed. Yoo-jun tells Jae-Gook that the reason he can't is because he knows he shouldn't be dating Yeong-Eun. And the next day, Yoo-jun asks to meet Yeong-Eun and talks about the circumstances of Soo-won's death. When Yeong-Eun wants to know why Yoo-jun is talking to her about this, Yoo-jun asks if Yeong-Eun thinks her relationship with Jae-Gook is appropriate. Meanwhile, Chi-Sook has a meeting with Do-Hoon and the Vision PR team. He avoids her eyes and speaks only to the room, causing her to notice his awkwardness. Afterwards, he only replies to her text with the single word yes, and for any extensive conversations, he tells his staff to call her instead. Jae-Gook tells Do-Hoon that Yeong-Eun is Soo-won's old girlfriend. Do-Hoon is understanding of their attraction, but says that he won't support the relationship, reminding Jae-Gook of the potential fallout, especially for Yeong-Eun. Jae-Gook tells him that all his life he's never once made a choice solely for himself, except now for Yeong-Eun. Yeong-Eun calls Jae-Gook and asks him to meet her in the office storeroom. She wants to know why Yoo-jung interrogated her, and Jae-Gook reveals that Yoo-jung was Soo-won's fiancé during the time that he dated Yeong-Eun. Yeong-Eun takes the news calmly, only cursing Soo-won, still very calmly, when Jae-Gook told her that she could. Sono's new collaboration has been outperforming Claire Marie in sales. Feeling the pressure, team leader In-ah resorts to spreading a rumor that Yeong-Eun was bribed by Miss Choi's factory, and that's why she chose to work with them even after the design theft. Chi-Hoon and So-Young deliver a gift from Sono to Hae-rin for her participation in the broadcast. She asks him what time he left her place last night, since she must have fallen asleep. He rushes to explain to So-young that Hae-rin got drunk and called him for a lift home. So-young says that she didn't ask for an explanation, she doesn't care. Hae-rin also discloses that they used to date on and off. So-young is unfazed by it all and excuses herself. Back at the One's office, Yeong-Eun and Jae-Gook are huddled together choosing movie tickets. Chi-Sook sees them and clears her throat, warning them to move apart just before CEO Hwang comes down the hallway. Yeong-Eun reminds Jae-Gook that they have to be careful in the office since CEO Hwang still sees Jae-Gook as a potential match for Chi-Sook, and he asks if anything goes when they are out of sight, to which Yeong-Eun replies playfully, perhaps. Mi-Sook gets a call from her mother-in-law. She complains that Mi-Sook doesn't spend enough money on her like her friends' daughter-in-laws. That night, Soo-ho complains that Mi-Sook has been making infomercial purchases for herself and her mother, but doesn't buy his mother any gifts. Mi-Sook tells him that his mother has consistently taken her extra money in the past, and she now refuses to continue living for anyone but herself. Jae-Gook is planning to rush over to Yeong-Eun's apartment at night, but Mi-Sook beats him to it, carting along her boxes of impulse buys. Yeong-Eun continues to find Mi-Sook's behavior unusual and presses her to tell her what's wrong, suspecting something is going on with her husband. Mi-Sook reassures her that once she's sorted out her thoughts, she will tell Yeong-Eun what's going on. Yeong-Eun then tells Mi-Sook about the call from Soo-won's number and about him having a fiancé while they dated. Yeong-Eun self-examines her feelings and finds more indifference than anything else. Mi-Sook is of course proud of her for growing up and learning to move on. The next day, Chi-Sook barges into Do-Hoon's office and cages him into a corner, asking why he's been ignoring her. He tells her that he's been drawing a line between them to avoid being the only one getting his hopes up and then being disappointed. Chi-Sook realizes that, hey, that's how she feels every time she falls into a one-sided love. Yeong-Eun is called into CEO Hwang's office as the production manager is leaving it. CEO Hwang asks her if she accepted a bribe from Miss Choi's factory, and Yeong-Eun obviously denies it. He then reminds her that she was able to finish her studies and come this far because he supported her financially all along. He tells her not to covet what doesn't belong to her, obviously implying that she should stay away from Jae-Gook. CEO Hwang's intuition is pretty good. At a bar, Chi-Sook tells Do-Hoon that she won't return his feelings because of the lack of mystery in their relationship, since he knows about her failed attempts with Mr. J. Do-Hoon makes a case for himself, saying that he could be charming, but she flirtatiously tells him to give up on her before passing out on his chest. Once again, Do-Hoon is put in a position of taking a drunk Chi-Sook home, this time all the way to her doorstep, where CEO Hwang actually refused to let him bring her in because he didn't believe that it was his daughter. After the workday ends, Yoon waits in the rain for Jae-Gook, who has been held up at a photo shoot. She's about to leave when he finally arrives drenched, and the two walk off romantically into the rain. Yoon takes Jae-Gook to her apartment to get dried off. She tells him about the call from Soo-won. We flash back to her replying to the message asking if she's been well by simply saying that yes, she has. In the present, Yoon tells Jae-Gook that her life became so busy that she eventually forgot she still had Soo-won's number saved. The next day, Jae-Gook confronts Yoo-jun, calling Soo-won's phone while in her office. When it rains from inside her bag, his suspicion that she used it to fool Yoon is confirmed. Yoo-jun tries to use Hae-yok's feeling as an excuse for her behavior, saying how will your mother feel when she finds out about this? Jae-Gook then calls Hae-yok right then and there and tells her that he's dating Yoon. Yes, that Yoon. And that's it for this episode. What do you guys think of Yoo-jun? I'm assuming she's the antagonist, but so far she seems more like a pesky nuance than a badass opposing force. Let's see where this leads. And as always, click the subscribe button if you want to receive updates on future episodes and other dramas like this. Thank you for watching!